The National Guard's federal mission continued to support efforts in the global war on terrorism this year. More than 1,000 soldiers and airmen left for overseas deployments, while others returned home in 2014. In March, the Army Guard's 2641 Aviation Battalion returned home from Kosovo after 9 months providing aeromedical evacuations and patient transportation in support of Operation Joint Guardian. The task force flew 600 total flight hours, which translated into 350 missions, 23 of which were medical evacuations. That same month, 28 Air Guard members from the 142nd Fighter Wing Civil Engineer Squadron deployed to Bagram, Afghanistan, where they provided support and maintenance services to facilities, airfields, and base infrastructure. The unit was also advised that they may be assisting with clearing and dismantling facilities in preparation for the ongoing drawdown in Afghanistan. Another engineer unit also deployed to Kuwait this year. Approximately 180 soldiers from the Oregon Army National Guard's 234 Engineer Company departed in June. These highly trained and multi-skilled soldiers have been focusing their efforts on plumbing, electrical, and carpentry that has improved the infrastructure in that area. The soldiers are expected back in March of 2015. Large elements of the Army Guard's 41st Infantry Brigade Combat Team also deployed to Afghanistan in June. Approximately 400 soldiers from 2nd Battalion 162nd Infantry based in Springfield, approximately 190 soldiers from 1st Squadron 82nd Cavalry based in Bend, and approximately 275 soldiers from 1st Battalion 186th Infantry based in Ashland deployed in support of Operation Enduring Freedom to provide security and support for bases in and around Kabul. These units spent several weeks of intense and all-encompassing pre-deployment training at the Orchard Combat Training Center in Idaho. Soldiers qualified on all types of weapons.
Yeah, good way to end it.
Oregon Guard's involvement overseas also extends into Southeast Asia. A delegation from Vietnam visited Oregon in August to attend briefings on disaster response and observe Oregon's SURF-P evaluation exercise. The delegation experienced firsthand how Oregon deals with building collapses, utilizing the new rubble pile training facility at Camp Rylea this past year. On the heels of the delegation visit, 9 Oregon Army Guardsmen from the 224 Engineer Company attended a disaster response training exercise in Vietnam. The nations continued to exchange information on search and rescue scenarios, including rappelling, rescue hoist operations, and casualty extraction operations. Saving life and limb is the primary objective of Oregon's aviation assets. The units from the 2641 Aviation Battalion conducted a number of real-life search and rescue operations this year. The pilots and crews responded to more than 30 search and rescue operations, assisting civil authorities with locating lost and stranded citizens. Oregon Guard helicopters also served Oregon citizens during wildfire season. Oregon Guard helicopters dropped more than 802,000 gallons of water over wildfires to suppress more than 45,000 acres of burning land in Jefferson and Jackson counties. Oregon soldiers and airmen continually rise to challenges that many may never face either in or out of uniform. It takes willpower, focus, and skill to overcome these obstacles. This past spring, Oregon Air National Guard Tech Sergeant Douglas Matthews of the 125th Special Tactics Squadron was awarded the rarely received Silver Star for engaging and repelling the enemy from multiple firing points after his vehicle struck an IED. 3 more airmen of the 125th STS, Staff Sergeant Matthew Matlock, Staff Sergeant Christopher Jones, and Tech Sergeant George Thompson were awarded Bronze Stars for their valiant bravery under fire.
You couldn't be prouder of these folks for what they do, but you couldn't be prouder of the community, their friends, and their families for the support that they give them for the things that they do that enables our nation to promote freedom and democracy all over the planet.
Matthews was chosen as the Air National Guard Outstanding Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year and one of the Air Force Outstanding Airmen of the Year. Oregon also took home a national title in the Army National Guard Best Warrior competition when Sergeant First Class Scott Stimson of the Recruiting and Retention Battalion earned Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year at Camp Robinson in Arkansas. Meanwhile, Oregon soldiers began competing at the state level to prepare for the next year's title. This three-day event pushes soldiers to the limits by testing their physical and mental endurance and evaluating their soldiering skills. The final test requires problem-solving and team-building abilities. This year, the culminating event required soldiers to carry Zodiac boats to a lake and then move to their final objective. After the training lanes are completed, the top competitors are selected to represent the state in the regional competition. Now, Sergeant First Class Benedict of Joint Force Headquarters took first place as Oregon's NCO of the Year, and Private First Class Jay Eyestone of the 2 to the 218th Field Artillery Headquarters Battery took the title of Soldier of the Year. The Oregon National Guard completed a number of infrastructure projects this year. The most notable was the opening of the new Fort Dallas Readiness Center. U.S. Senators Ron Wyden and Jeff Merkley were on hand for the ribbon-cutting ceremony.
So it is just a moment when the heart soars on behalf of all the folks who made this happen, and all the folks who are going to be able to use this facility in the many decades ahead.
The new facility will be home to Alpha Company 3rd Battalion, 116th Cavalry Regiment. This new 62,000 square foot net zero compliant state-of-the-art facility will also be utilized by the Columbia Gorge community. Ensuring the completion of this facility was a collaborative effort between the college, the Oregon National Guard, and local, state, and federal officials, resulting in a facility that will be a shining example for the community for decades to come. The Milton Freewater Armory was upgraded and rededicated this year in April. The armory was first built in 1954 and served as a civil defense headquarters and Red Cross kitchen during the 1964 and 65 floods. The $4 million remodel began in 2012 to replace and upgrade the building's electrical, plumbing, and seismic requirements. The building also meets state energy design. Soldiers of the 162nd Engineers helped in the infrastructure upgrades of a different kind in February. Through the innovative Readiness training program, the engineers were able to help clear and level the ground for Oregon's World War II memorial. The memorial, situated on the northwest corner of the Capitol grounds, was finished and dedicated in June.
Today, however, we have the opportunity to say to all World War II veterans, present and those no longer with us, thank you.
The event drew hundreds of World War II veterans and their families to honor and remember the greatest generation. The Oregon Air Guard also improved their infrastructure this past year with the completion of shelter bays for the jets that keep the Northwest skies safe. These new shelters will allow the jets to avoid the wear and tear of Oregon's weather, reducing corrosion and the need for repainting and de-icing, saving enough money to pay for themselves in 5 to 6 years. The 173rd Fighter Wing began welcoming new active duty troops with the first total force integration for the Oregon Air National Guard. Detachment 2 out of Luke Air Force Base, Arizona, will help raise pilot production to meet increased demand. Kingsley also accepted new aircraft, including a distinctive aggressor jet to its fleet, which grew to 31 total assigned aircraft. Demand for trained F-15 pilots was higher than usual as the 144th Fighter Wing in Fresno, California, converted from the F-16 airframe to the F-15 Eagle. In order to facilitate that transition, the 173rd hosted Fresno jets, pilots, and maintainers for more than 6 months. The parade of contractors making their way onto Kingsley Field every day is a daily reminder of the growing mission. The main hangar, the largest building on base, is undergoing a total makeover, and just 100 yards away, crews are constructing a large addition to the operations building. The old vacant alert facilities now house phase maintenance and bustle with daily activity, and the simulator building has added space and 3 new state-of-the-art flight trainers. All of this while maintaining the most robust flying schedule to date. Capping off a busy year, airmen at Kingsley Field underwent the first unit effectiveness inspection of any Air National Guard unit. After a week of thorough inspections, the wing as a whole earned a highly effective rating.
Oregon will be better prepared in the event of an earthquake or tsunami thanks to the efforts of the Oregon Office of Emergency Management. In July, OEM and Governor John Kitzhaber rolled out the Cascadia Playbook, a comprehensive step-by-step plan outlining how various state and federal agencies will respond to a catastrophic event in Oregon. The playbook is a living document that can be updated and refined as lessons are learned from disaster situations that occur around the world. Once a year, all National Guard units must conduct their annual 2-week training requirement, where soldiers and airmen train together in order to gel as a unit. This year, engineers from the 162nd Engineer Company and gun crews from the 2 to the 218th Field Artillery Battalion trained at the Yakima Training Center in Washington, testing and honing their warfighting skills. The senior engineers tested various types of charges with the C4 explosives and shared their knowledge with the young troops. The results were explosive. Gun crews from the 2 to the 218th Field Artillery Battalion had little downtime during AT training this year due to a new approach in the rate of fire implemented during this AT period. The call to fire was non-stop, keeping the artillerymen on their toes. This operational tempo set new records for the battalion, and staying busy proved good for morale. Dusty grit, diesel exhaust, and the thunder of cannon blasts filled the air as soldiers with the 3rd Battalion, 116th Cavalry Regiment trained for 3 weeks at the Orchard Combat Training Center in Idaho. The battalion focused on increasing their proficiency with Abrams M1A2 system enhanced package tanks, Bradley fighting vehicles, and enough mortars to shake the dirt out from under the high desert tumbleweeds. 2014 was another challenging yet successful year for the Oregon National Guard. Soldiers and airmen deployed all over the world, responded to domestic emergencies, and trained for worst-case scenarios, all while staying involved in their communities. Once again, the Oregon Guard has proven that when we are needed, we are there.